So we're going to start this tutorial by importing a file from my folder. It's in 3ds format, so I have to do the import command instead of the open command. We're going to do White Pine 8, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to take a static model and break it and animate it so that it can have a death animation. In this case I'm going to be animating a tree. And so first I want to put the texture on it. We're going to rename the texture White Pine because that's actually what it's named. And then we come over here to groups, we select the group and rotate it because right now it is sideways, and click on move. Now we want the roots to be just a little below this line here. You'll see right here. I want it a little bit below because this line is a terrain level in the game world. Right here, this yellow and pink line is terrain level in the game world, and I want that to actually be below the terrain, so it looks like the tree is in the ground when I place it in the ground, and so that it will spawn properly. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click select and vertex, and we're just going to select this row of vertices right here, and we're going to unweld. Do not unweld radial, it will make a mess. Just unweld, and what that does is it actually splits them so that there's actually two rows of vertices there now, and we can then break the tree and open it up. Next we want to add joints, so we click the joint button, and the first one, it's a little bit off center there, and that will be the root joint, and it's kind of funny to me because it's actually at the roots of the tree. And then we make another joint above this line of verts that we just made here, and that is going to be our I'm going to call it tree joint, and that's just going to be where we're going to tip the tree over. And I'll have to do one more thing here. So we want to select faces, and we're only going to select these at the bottom, and we're going to come over here to group, and we're going to say regroup, and we're going to call that the stump, because when we chop the tree down, that's what's going to be left, and that'll be the stump. And which one that says M at the top? White Pine. There we go. Rename. And that will be the top of our tree. And so now we want to go to the joints and select the stump. So now we've selected the root and the stump. We're going to assign that. Now we've selected the tree part and that, and we click on assign there. Now all the verts are assigned to those two joints. We click save as. And we name it, and I'm going to keep the same name, and I'm going to add an A behind it. That way I know which one it's from. And then Fragmotion reads milk-shaped models perfectly, so I don't have to export it to any other format. I can just open it over here in Fragmotion, and it will be right here, White Pine 8A, and here we can see it all there. And there's the joints you can see down below. And there's the bone. Everything is there. We're going to rename the first one to idle. That's the first animation. We're going to actually set that as idle animation and save as. Then we will duplicate the animation, right click, rename, tell it die. This is going to be the die animation. And here we will go right around here. We're going to take the tree joint, set to rotate, and that is not the way I wanted to rotate it. Actually, I want to rotate it this way, some way. I'm going to have to be able to get in close there, because what we're going to do next is I need to move this to the side. I can move it up for now, but that is not the side I wanted to move it to. There. So that I can select all those verts there. Because what we're going to do is we're going to fill in. Right now you can see it looks invisible in the middle of the tree. We're going to make the rings. And this is probably the hardest part of animating the tree, is making the rings and selecting all that. So I'm going to just close that for now. I don't need that right here, and it is in my way. So what I want to do now, first I have to create a vert in the middle, and I found that when doing the top it's easiest if I set it to default pose and then set it to any side view will do, like this or this, so that it puts my center vert actually in the center, and then I can create it there. And I've got that tree already selected, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign verts to the bone. I have to make sure it slides over to 1 over here. It should be showing me weights. Come on, weights should be 1. Why isn't it working? Should be set to 1. Alright, it's not selecting my vert, then you have to select it. Where are you, little vert? Cannot find it. I know I created it. Or I meant to anyway. I don't see it though. Neither the top nor the bottom is missing entirely. So maybe it isn't there. Okay, so we'll try again. Create vertex right here, pretty close to center. There we go. Now it says unassigned and 1, and now we can set it and it's assigned to the tree. Yay, that worked. Okay, and so then we go to back to the die animation and the 3D button, so I can move this around. And first I'm going to unselect the bone. Now I can select verts, actually create face. So now I have the create face selected here, and this is a little bit tricky because it doesn't really show you the third click. But basically what you do is you just go 1, 2, 3, and it makes a face, and you just do that all the way around. And the third one, instead of showing you the third green dot, it just makes the face. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I have to be able to see where I'm going next. really like it if I wasn't. There, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. And do reverse vertex order there. Okay, because you saw how that was invisible. It needs to show us a color. So we have to do reverse vertex order, or it will be invisible all the time. And that is not what we want to happen. So now we do it again on the bottom. And create vertex. And this one we don't have to tip it down. We do have to select the bone though, and assign the vert to the bone. It's unassigned currently. Now it's assigned. Now I can go back to creating faces in the 3D viewer, and the bottom section is usually easier than the top one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we have one left. And now we will texture them. So now we want to select faces, and we do not want to select back faces because that gets really complicated, like that. Actually, let's undo. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide these. I can find it. Where is hide selection? There we go. Hide all. Undo. Let's see, now I need the back faces selected. And I press Alt to unselect because I don't want to bother the tree. And Shift, select all those, and Shift. It's really being bothersome, isn't it? It doesn't want me to select them all. I really don't want, I really don't want to miss color my tree. So what we're doing here is we're going to be assigning a color, a texture to the trunk, and I don't want to do that. So now we have hide selection all. Now if I had actually done that in Milkshape, I could have made that into a group of just the branches, and that would have worked also, but since I didn't do that there, I have to do it here. So now we can select the faces and work with them properly. And I'll do Shift to click these also. That Shift click lets me select both of them. I want to be sure I don't have any faces selected on the trunk. It's on the tree part. I just want to do the circles. Okay, that looks good. So now I go to texture. Actually, first I have to make the texture. So, new texture. And this is in my way. So here we're going to call it tree rings. And we come to the path, and you can hear my little dog barking. I have a Jack Russell Terrier, and he's very excited that an airplane is flying overhead outside. So there's the pine log end, and now then I make a material with it. Create material using texture. There we go. And now I want to assign to selection. So just click assign to selection there, and now then it is on there. Not done yet though. Next, I have to go to old UV mapper, and I want it to be top view selected, and I make the rectangle and remap, and now it is done. So now we have, if I unselect the faces, can't see it very close here, but I could probably zoom down. Nope, I can't get it right. Anyway, they're there. Really they are. So next, now I can unhide all, and our tree will be back again. I know it looks kind of weird here with the transparency, but it will look fine in the game. Don't worry, it will be fine. So now I can open those windows back up again, the keyframe editor and the keyframe sliders, which never remembers where I put them. Well, it remembers this, it just never remembers the other one. So now in the die animation, we do not want the last frame to end up straight up, so we're just going to delete that here. Also remember, when deleting keyframes, always use this menu, the keyframe editor menu, and not the delete key on the keyboard, or you will delete your bones or vertices or anything else you have selected in the model, and we don't want to do that. So now, and I kind of want to move this over here because I think it will look better there. And now we can go to the business of animating this tree for real. So we can rotate it down a little bit like that. I think maybe actually it will fall more like this, and it's gonna actually and then here it's gonna undo keyframe slider. I have to undo all these. I'm selected on the wrong tree. Look at that. Okay, we're good. Okay, now I have to select the correct bone. I do not want to be on that. So if you click outside the circle, it moves the world like this, and if you click inside the circle, it moves the model itself, just so you know. And now then, okay, I'm in the right thing. So here's what we have right now. I think that will be rotated up a little more. And then I think and here then it's going to fall down like that. So let's see if that looks right. I think so. I'll just rotate it. I want to rotate a little bit of a bounce there and down. Okay, this is what it's going to look like now. So I think these should be here. Like that, maybe. Go ahead and finalize that end frame and play. And like that. Okay, that's good enough. That's decent. That's a decent model there. So now we save as, and we're going to call it B. And then we also have to export it to .x format so that it can be imported to Ultimate Unwrap 3D. And we just do that. And now then we come over here and I clicked the wrong button. Now that's not in my way. Open and come here. Where are you? There he is. .x. And that will save both of the animations separately, which I have those here. These are in the model animation editor. So, like if I close that, if I want to open it, that's where it comes. Okay, and here we have everything. This is a pretty nice looking little tree. And so we're going to save it as first. We're going to save the Ultimate Unwrap 3D version. So we have that as a backup. Then we're going to save it in DAE format. And we're just going to give it the White Pine 08 name. And none of the others have the underscore there, so I guess I'll take the underscore out. There. So now that's White Pine 08. So I remember which of the trees I've already done from that set that I've been working on. And then I also have to save the animation name, and this is the idle animation. So we name it like that, DAE with idle. Then, in order to get to the die animation, I have to delete the idle animation. Save as die. Okay. Now it is ready for copying to the Big World folder. There's, should be in here. Let's do date modified. Now it will be at the top. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Copy. You have to put them back up here. And this is how I export it. So I have this command that I got from the Big World forums for the exporter, and I wrote out the command so that it works on my computer. Your computer will vary. If this is written exactly for where the location is on my folders, so that's how this works. And then I come back here, I get those models out of there. I just need the animations of these and the visual and primitives of those, and I copy it into my trees folder, and that can go away. And I come to the model editor, and I will open the model over here. This is the one we just worked on, White Pine 8. and I let it go through its little process of everything. We set it to be wood. We choose the material. Now the white pine material we want to be double-sided with alpha transparent true, and the tree rings material does not need to be double-sided. Or I have an alarm going off, sorry about that. Now then, I can show, let's go ahead and save it. And we go to the animations and we load the animations. And there's the die animation. Kind of, it's not as good as the last animation that I made. It kind of is flying off to the side there. I don't like that quite as well, but I guess it'll be okay for now. Now we want to load another one, and that will be the dead animation. And we have to get to the end. There are 37, so we do 37, 37. Does not need to play that many. Save frame rate. We go to the actions, and we have to rename it to idle, and then die, and rename that, and dead, and done. Now both dead and idle are looped, and the others are not. This is a really simple animation, so we don't have to set speed or turning or direction or anything like that. Just leave them all like that, and it's done. We're done breaking a tree and animating it to have a death animation. That's how it all works. From starting out with a static model that was already created to breaking it, animating it, exporting it, and then importing it into Big World format. It is now ready to be used in the Big World editor.